Okay, welcome back to another battle report. This time between the High Elves and the Nomadic Waaagh. Same uh, practice for a tournament with comp restrictions of no model over 6 wounds and no level 3 or 4 casters. I've switched up my High Elf list a bit to go for a Handmaiden General and a unit of Handmaidens represented by the archers in core, then one more unit of five just archers. So these are Sisters of Avalon, sorry. Sisters of Avalon in core, and then a unit of five archers in core. Uh, Level 2 mage with Arcane Familiar, the Handmaiden, six Dragon Princes with the Rampaging Banner, a Battle Standard Bearer Noble on Griffin, with Dragon Helm, Opal Amulet, and Seed of Rebirth. And then two Lothern Skycutters and another level 2 mage with the Silver Wand, also on Battle Magic. Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, I really like the Sisters unit. I think the changes to skirmishers hurt them a bit, but I still wanted to. I wanted to. I liked the units that I got into this list, not having to spend points on core for Silver Helms. Like I prefer the Dragon Princes. Theoretically, I wanted to try out the Skycutters. So yeah, we get this is its first run out for this list. My opponent with Orcs and Goblins, two units of Savage Boys with Vanguard that moved up, two small units of Goblin Wolf Riders. There's a Goblin Shaman behind that tree there, just a level 1. Giant Black Orc Chariot with a War Boss, Battle Standard Bearer. He's all tooled up. Another regular Black Orc Chariot, and then a big unit of Big Uns with a War Boss in there with the Toughness 6 magic armor and a great weapon. So and we're playing meeting engagement, and all of my opponents' units start on the board, and I have my two Skycutters and my one mage in reserve, which I was a little bit grumpy about, but ended up working out totally fine. I feel like the reserves are helpful if you're playing a more defensive shooting army because they come on in a good position. Whereas, like, if he had have had units in reserve and they came on back here and I'm sort of castled in this corner, that's just a huge downside. So, yeah, it's not a very good mission in my opinion. I got turn 1. My Griffin did a long charge on the Boar Boys who countercharged to make it a bit easier, and I killed them all. The Dragon Princes went into marching column with drilled and move out to the side. This isn't a great spot for them. I'm staying out of charge range of the giant, but they're just not that engaged in the game. Fireballs take off one unit of Wolf Riders, and then I put all my shooting into the giant and do 3 wounds to it. And then this is a Pillar of Fire. I forgot my regular template at home, so make and do. So yeah, good first turn. I end up I have the Ruby Ring on the unit champ. This mage with Lore Familiar has Pillar of Fire and Fireball, and then my other mage that's coming on rolled a Fireball as well, and Curse of Air Attraction, which is pretty nice, and Curse of Cowardly Flight, which is a terrible spell, and I will never take again. It's only a 9-inch range to cause a panic test, but seems silly. My opponent's turn. He just sort of wheels his army around, pushes forward towards the sisters. Still a pretty long charge for some of these units. Yeah, he's just sort of setting up. He wasn't in range to charge anything. He kills one archer with his goblins. Oh well, so I missed it. His goblin shaman took a fireball and died last turn. So then my turn. My Dragon Princes failed their impetuous, declared a charge on the giant, and failed. It was okay charge, and they have the rampaging mana to reroll, but they rolled poorly, and they had to go through the terrain, so they're -1. So they're not in a great position now. However, my Griffin charged the chariot that was here, broke it, ran it down, and then failed his test to restrain, so he's facing off into nowhere. The gun line opened up. I got my reserves on, so my mage came on here with Fireball, and I put the 2 Sky Cutters in, and then shot down the 1 unit Boar Boys, shot down the Wolf Riders. The sisters shot into these guys and killed 3 of them. So that's pretty good. And I recast my Pillar of Fire over here to make this charge potentially more dangerous. So yeah, good shooting turn, did exactly what I wanted. Because 1 Boar Boy can be a real issue if he survives, especially with the skirmish changes. If 1 wolf, 1 Boar Boy manage to charge the archers and make it in, they're going to kill a bunch of them because they don't have the movement to rank up. So then the Orc and Goblin turn. The Black Orc Chariot, and maybe I don't think the Giant had movement. I think he forgot to move it, and then he moved him a bit after, once we remembered, but after this turn. But the Black Orc Chariot charges the Dragon Princes, kills lots of them, runs the other ones down, reforms. He pushes the Boar Boys up a bit. I think maybe they failed their leadership to march. I'm not sure. Anyways, they didn't move far. That's all he has. Dragon Princes. So they countercharged to make that charge easier, and then I don't think they did a wound. That was a disappointing showing from the Dragon Princes. So the 2 Sky Cutters charged the Boar Boys unit and killed them all, just leaving the War Boss alive, who ran away and wasn't caught. I only chased with 1 Sky Cutter, which was a mistake. The Griffin has now turned around. These guys have started moving forward. They didn't really have any shots, though, to take, so my mages are moving up to get some fireballs in. He didn't have any charges, his War Boss rallies, so he just is pivoting around. This guy's now... Okay, so when the archers... Maybe I shot him last turn. Anyways, he's taken 2 wounds. So he's... or it was from the combat. Some wounds spilled over onto him. So he's not in great health, but he is now very mobile with this 360 line of sight. And a bit of a worry for the Griffin and the chariots. So my turn, I move some things back so that I can see. Chariot flies over. I shoot. Didn't have a lot of shots. I think I shot this guy, and he's T6 with a 2-up armor, and didn't do any wounds to him. His turn. He charges his War Boss into the Griffin, and the Griffin kills him. His Giant, who's taken some wounds from shooting, is starting to just try and get away from my shooting. His chariot starts pushing in towards the sisters. The Griffin charges the Giant. This chariot is just moving to a place where it can charge. This chariot didn't have line of sight, so it's... Oh, I think I tried to charge it and it failed. Rolled a 3, so instead I'm just shooting at the chariot. Pillar of Fire's in there. And I think we managed a couple wounds. Yeah, we did 4 wounds to it with all that shooting. I think the Handmaiden blew her horn that turn, which had helped. The Griffin does a couple wounds to the Giant. It falls back. He pushes the chariot forward so that it's out of line of sight of this Sky Cutter. the Griffin had one combat, and then so the giant gives ground, and then I've chosen to restrain, so I'll be able to charge in my next turn. And then this is the final turn. The Griffin Noble has killed the giant, and then all of my shooting did the last 2 wounds to the Black Orc War Boss here, so he's dead as well. So that was the end of the game. Other than the Dragon Princes failing miserably, it was pretty one-sided for the High Elves. In a not a great way. Like my friend commented that it felt like playing against a 40k army in Old World. It really is an avoidance. I have a strong avoidance shooting unit. Then they can be pinned down because they don't have travel mystical pathways or anything to help speed up their movement. But with all my mobile charge threats, it's very dangerous for a unit to come in to try and get them. So yeah, going forward, I don't know if I'll play it at the tournament because it is supposed to be new player friendly, and I don't know if it's a fun list to play against. It's I like it because it has a nice mix. Like all the units are good. It has all the good high elf units pretty much that I can take, and I'm not stuck with any of the bad ones. So it just shows that the internal balance in the high elf book isn't great in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think about whether I want to play this anymore. It's just because it denies your opponent the chance to fight in combat, which really feels like what Old World is supposed to be about. It's maybe not the best list, even though I don't know. I don't think it's the strongest list out there. Like I think the Bretonnian list I played last game would probably run over this high elf list. It's just fast and has good enough armor that it would get into combat, and it's actually more mobile with the Pegasus characters with their 360 line of sight. But I agree with my friend that it doesn't feel as one-sided because you're actually fighting in combat, and it feels like the other player has more of a chance to counter it. So yeah, if you have any thoughts on shooting lists in the Old World, let me know down in the comments. And otherwise, thank you for watching another battle report, and hopefully see you again next time.